Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about having a Taurus sun and a Leo ascendant in a natal chart. Now, there are similarities, but these energies are very different as well. Now, they're both fixed signs. This could be a very intractable, intransigent, and very somewhat inflexible type nature, very determined, persistent, gets things done through thick and thin. Someone that obviously doesn't give up easily and battles through adversity very strongly and a lot of willpower. However, you have Leo rising is very extroverted and gregarious. Sun in Taurus is more reticent and more quiet. They're more passive. They generally are not nearly as outgoing as Leo. And Leo ascendant can camouflage a much more introverted Cancer nature. Can camouflage a much more, I guess you could say, the Taurian inner self nature. And this person can be somewhat flamboyant, but inwardly they're really not nearly as much as what they're displaying outwardly. Now, when you have this combination, well, what I look at is, okay, the sun sign represents our basic wants, and the rising sign can indicate the method or manner in which we attain them. Now, Taurus sun, their basic wants can be connected with things of a monetary nature, financial stability, generating income, having peace and tranquility in their life, even things with love and having perhaps a very good love life, because Venus does rule Taurus. Now, with Leo rising, these things can be done in a very extravagant, magnanimous manner. This could be done. These attainments may be met even sometimes through extravagance, perhaps such as investing a lot of money to make money, perhaps through Leo-like things such as entertainment, maybe perhaps through being in the limelight to some degree, gaining some notoriety, things that are attention seeking. It could be things connected with creative endeavors, things where they maybe go on stage, even things with theater, maybe acting for some people in some cases, something connected with drama. It could be things of a nature where they really can stand out, and this could be done as I stated before, the attainments for the Sun and Taurus can be done in a rather big and prodigious Leo manner. Now, a lot of this can depend on the aspects, the aspect that is made between the Sun and Taurus and the Leo ascendant in terms of how the energy is working. Now, I understand by sign they're not compatible, and that is always true regardless of the aspects, but the aspects can help. Now, in some cases, the person could have a sextile aspect. It would be out of sign sextile aspect. An example is the Sun at 29 degrees Taurus and a Leo ascendant at 1 degree. Now, these energies may be a little more auspicious and more flowing, and they may be able to work together more productively. Now, a trine aspect can take place in some cases as well. An example would be, it would be an out of sign trine aspect if the Sun, say, is at 1 degree Taurus and the Leo ascendant is at 29 degrees. These energies might work a little bit more. Now, in many cases, though, you will have the square aspect. For example, Sun at 8 degrees Taurus squaring a Leo ascendant at 10 degrees. Now, that's adversarial. Not only are the signs they're incompatible by sign, but by aspect as well. And when you have the ascendant make an adverse aspect to your sun sign, this could indicate perhaps that the person may feel somewhat misconstrued or misunderstood, and could cause some inner tension and exasperation because of this. Now, a lot can depend on the house placement that the Taurus sun is in, even though the energy of Leo, it's because the ascendant is the outer demeanor in the self that is expressed more readily and strongly, at least in some quiet ways. The Taurus energy can come out in the house that it is in. Now, in many cases, people that have Leo ascendant and Taurus sun, their sun will either reside in the 9th, 10th, or 11th house. In the case of the 9th house, you may see that Taurus persistent energy, that tenacity can come out, that steadfastness come out through 9th house matters such as higher education, matters connected with the in-laws if applicable, perhaps through long distance traveling abroad, religion, perhaps in their philosophical outlook. If the sun in Taurus is in the 10th house, this could be something where you might see this dogmatic Taurus energy come out in matters pertaining to their career, their public image, perhaps matters connected with authority figures, and maybe even matters connected with the dominant parent, which is generally the father. Now, in some cases, the sun in Taurus may be in the 11th house, and in these cases, you might see that need, that peace and tranquility, that need for that come out with matters connected with friends, group activities, their acquaintances. You might see that persistence, tenacity come out maybe in their goals, in their aspirations, and this might be tied in for them having peace and tranquility. Now, I think an interesting example of somebody, an infamous person who has the sun in Taurus and Leo ascendant, is the person that was convicted of an infamous Ponzi scheme, someone by the name of Bernie Madoff. Many of you may have heard of him. Now, he has the sun in Taurus and Leo ascendant. And I think this is a good example of how sometimes you could have these energies manifest in really a very negative way in some cases, just like all sun ascendant sign combinations. And I think you had the Taurus, that I think you saw the real strong negative expression of Taurus come out as far as the avarice and greed, and it combined in doing this in a very magnanimous, so to speak, extravagant Leo manner. And this came out in a very big way, and it showed his certainly his audacity. Maybe that Leo audacity came out in this in terms of ways of trying to make money, and unfortunately he did this in a very corrupt manner, and this came out in a very negative expression as far as Bernie Madoff goes, and I thought it was interesting to note that he has this combination. Now, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for having the sun in Taurus and a Leo ascendant in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about having the sun in Taurus and a Virgo ascendant in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.